Nice. Alright y'all, so it is the next day and I finally have some good news for you guys. I took the head to a machine shop after work and they got both studs fixed for us. So they pulled out the broken one, they pulled out the other one that I left alone, and yeah, we also got the head, just kind of the gasket surface cleaned up while it was there. I figured it'd be a good idea to just get it cleaned up, and they highly suggested doing that. So yeah, we have our cylinder head. It's actually now all good to go. 2 brand new exhaust studs. We're gonna make sure we use anti-seize when we put on the exhaust nuts. So 2 brand new Honda OEM exhaust studs, and we also have a fresh gasket surface. So yeah, we're still waiting on the ignition cover gasket. I just ordered it last night, so it's gonna be here in, I'd say, another 2 days. So we're not gonna be able to put the ignition cover back on, but we are gonna be able to replace the timing chain and do pretty much everything for the top end, at least most of the stuff for the top end. And yeah, let's get started with working on it. Alrighty guys, so we have our cylinder head back together as far as it needs to be to put back into the engine here. Now, we're at a little bit of a tricky standstill here on the engine because I had to order the intake, or sorry, not intake, the ignition cover gasket. We don't have that here yet, should be just 2 more days. But I want to get the rest of the engine complete. So temporarily, and keep in mind the only reason I'm doing this is because the engine is full of oil still. Temporarily what I'm gonna do is when we replace our timing chain, I'm gonna just temporarily reuse our old gasket. I have it sitting over here. I'm definitely not gonna run the bike with that gasket on it, but just temporarily to hold the oil that's in the motor. I'm gonna change the timing chain, put it on the cover, and then we're just gonna run that gasket for now. And as soon as we get the gasket, we'll throw the new one in. But just for the purpose of working on this thing, we're just gonna be throwing that old one in there for now. It is what it is. And the whole reason I didn't drain the oil on the motor is because just to do a top end, we really don't have to. And in terms of doing the water pump and stuff, we can simply lean the motor over. And the oil I put in the engine is brand spanking new. So if I could at least break in the new top end on that oil, I'd be happy. So first I'm going to install the timing chain, and then from there we can build back up our top end, starting with our piston and cylinder, and then our cylinder head, and then just working from there. Alrighty, also, I think I've hit a pretty good stopping point for tonight. It's starting to get a little late. I'm getting a little bit tired, but we just got the cylinder and the cylinder head bolted together and torqued down to spec, and that's a huge milestone. So I'm gonna cap it off for tonight, but luckily we have all day tomorrow to work on this bike, so we should definitely be able to get this engine mostly finished, and there are a couple other little things that we have to do before we start building the bike, but I can definitely tell we're getting pretty close, guys. So definitely starting to get a little excited. You know, it's very tempting to just pull an all-nighter and just work on this bike, go load up with Red Bulls or something, but yeah, guys, I'm gonna call it here for tonight. We've hit a great stopping point. We got the cylinder head bolted up and torqued down to spec, and yeah, we're gonna pick this back up in the morning. Alrighty, y'all, so it is the next day. Let's get back to working on the CRF450L motor. And yeah, I think today we're gonna start by buttoning up the top end of the cylinder head, so things like the camshaft, and I also wanna check those valve clearances. Alrighty, y'all, so we're making some good progress. Got the camshaft installed, everything's timed, everything's torqued down properly. Surprisingly, I actually got it properly timed the very first try, very first setting I put the cam chain on. It was already perfectly in time, so that was really cool. Sometimes that can be a little bit of a process. But yeah, we got that first try, and we're pretty much all set here to check our valve clearances. I went ahead and rotated the engine over a couple times just to make sure it maintains time and everything. The valve train components get to move a little bit, and everything still looks great. So we're gonna go ahead and check our valve clearances now, starting with the exhaust side. So here for our exhaust valve clearances, we are shooting for 0.28 millimeters or 1/1000th of an inch, but I'm just gonna go everything here in millimeters. So here we'll get a 0.28 feeler gauge. Here is our 0.28. Oh yeah, it's perfect. Just a little bit tighter on this side, but not by too much. Now our right side exhaust valve is actually at 0.025, which is still within the acceptable range. So the Honda OEM service manual for this bike says 0.28 millimeters plus or minus 0.03. 0.025 is still within the acceptable range. And then our intake valve clearance is much tighter. It's going to be 0.11 millimeters. So here I have a 0.13 millimeter feeler gauge, and then we're going to test this one out. Alright, those are both a little tight. Try a 0.1 millimeter feeler gauge. And that feels like spec on both of those. Perfect. Alright, y'all, so our valves are all really well within spec, and pretty much everything here looks really good for our valve train. I'm not going to bother for the very slight variations to get them perfectly in spec, because we're going to be inspecting the valves on this bike pretty often anyway. You know, at the end of the day, it is based off of the 450R race motor, and these motors are just slightly higher maintenance than, say, a DRZ 400. So yeah, overall we're within the spec in the service manual, and yeah, we can keep moving forward from here. Alrighty guys, and we're pretty much done with the motor. Of course, again, we're still waiting on the ignition cover gasket, but I have the old one temporarily in there and it's holding up fine. So as soon as we get that gasket, I'll throw it on. But yeah, we did the full fresh top end. We also got a new cam chain in there just because when I do top end rebuilds, I like to include a new timing chain in there as well. We checked the valve clearances and then those are all looking good. We replaced the valve stem seals. Everything for the top end gasket kit has been replaced. And those countershaft seals I like to replace just as preventative maintenance. You know, we already have the motor out of the bike. Now I decided actually to hold off on the water pump for a couple reasons. I still have the gasket kit back there. Biggest thing is I actually was reading the service manual over these last couple days more and more, and I actually discovered that it's actually normal to see a tiny bit of moisture coming from the weep hole on the water pump, and that's because this bike has a mechanical seal for the water pump, and it's normal for those seals to weep just a tiny bit of coolant. And yeah, I just noticed when I was disassembling the bike, I didn't see any liquid coming from the hole, but I saw what looked like some moisture kind of running down. So I ordered that seal kit, but I'm thinking I'm just gonna run what's in here already. As I just learned, it's normal for a tiny bit of moisture to be weeped out of these mechanical water pump seals. And another reason why I'm not doing it right now is because that is one of the jobs that would be very easy to do with the motor on the bike. We would just be removing the cover here on the right side of the engine. It'd be the same exact work on the bench and on the bike, so it wouldn't really be any extra work for us to wait. This motor does only have 5,000 miles on it. All the internals, the cylinder looks really good, so I think I'm gonna run it for now. And we also have the brand new exhaust studs on there. It's nice that we don't have those old corroded ones on there anymore, so when we do bolt up the exhaust, we're not going to be using some really old crusty hardware, and I'm going to make sure, of course, to anti-seize those when we do assemble a bike so we don't have any corrosion issues with those going forward. And yeah, guys, overall, everything turned out really good. Overall, I'm really excited to start getting this bike together soon. There are still a couple little things that we do need to complete, but this is definitely a huge milestone here for the build. So yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Subscribe so you guys don't miss any upcoming CRF450L Supermoto build videos. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.